Hi guys, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to do a little bit of an update of what I've done to me ANX Cloudfly plane. Video I done last time was just setting up the setting up the plane, putting it together and I just want to show you progress so far. So you can see it there, okay. What I've done to it, obviously I built it, and then after that, I've never flown this plane, so it's never even done a maiden or anything, so I'm looking forward to doing that and doing a bit of video for that. Other things I've done is, I've done the usual things, like put some tape on the bottom, this fiberglass tape, just to strengthen the bottom so when it lands. I've also put some tape along the sides. This part here, which comes out, I've glued that bit in, cut it there, and I've just taped this section of foam in, so I can take this out if I have a problem with the servo, and I can get the servo wire, no problem at all, so I can replace that if I need to. So I've done that, and I've also put a bit of glue, strengthened a few bits up. I've also put a bit of glue just in this section here, so it was just flexing a little bit, and also underneath. So that's all I've done really, so it's standard from that. Other things I've done is put FPV in, as you can see. This camera is a 700 line, I think it is, TV lines. It's just a normal security camera, which I bought. I actually bought two of them to try different ones. That's the one I've set up with a little receiver, transmitter, sorry. This is right hand polarised one. As you can see, I've just stuck this on the back with a heat sink, so I'm using this as a heat sink, and it's ready to go. So there's your video in and out, connect them both together, and you're away, and there's your positive and there's your sound. Positive and negative and done. So that's all you need, and you can mount this anywhere you want. So, and it gives a really good picture. It's exactly the same camera, it's just that that's got a different lens on. This one's a bit more wide angle, but I prefer that one. And this is just one of those cheap transmitters. Banggood, I can't remember how much I paid, something stupid like £8. Ridiculously low. You've got a channel button. Get really hot, so I'm using that as a heatsink with a bit of paste on the back, heatsink paste. So this camera is wired into that transmitter there. You can see I've put a heatsink on the top of it, just with a bit of bungee cord. This one is off it's off a quad, so I'll show you later on, and the OSD wasn't working, so Banggood sent me a replacement. It works, but there's no OSD. So just as an FPV unit, it works fine. So I got another one to go on my quad, and I put this one on there. Just hot glued it in, no problem. Change a different aerial. This one's a rigid one, so it doesn't flap around. And I've just wired it into the battery here. So I'll take the canopy off. Obviously I use a elastic band as well for that. So inside, other things I've done, I'm using a S603 receiver, DSMX, and I'm using this radio to control it. Yeah, let's put that over there. Okay, as you can see, I've put OSD on as well. I've done a video, this has all been done in the last couple of days. I put this OSD on, which is the tiny OSD. Hobbykin, £80. Because the OSD is not working on here, I put my own one on, and I'll show you the screen working shortly. You can see it's all put in there. This is part 2, so I'm going to link this onto part 2 of the video where I did an unboxing of this OSD. So the power's taken from here. Yeah. Sorry, this powers the camera up, so that plugs into my battery. That plugs into the battery, and then the power from this runs round to me. I've just got it on the battery channel, I don't have no RSSI working yet. I haven't figured out how to do that. But everything seems to be tucked in okay. And I'll show you the screen shortly. GPS is running along to the back, out of here. And I've just taped them wires up. These are for the ESC speed controller. I've just taped them on the outside, basically to keep the airflow going, whether you can see. Don't know if you can see into there. Just to keep the airflow going. So if I blow into there, I can feel the air coming out. Yeah, no problem. So there is air going to get in and keep the the speed controller cool and everything else in there. So that's all I've done so far. Centre of gravity is about just under the wing spar, about there. Don't know whether it's correct, but that's where it is. And I just made myself a little stand, and obviously that sits on, once I've got the battery in, that'll just sit on 2 points. That'll give you your CG once the battery's in. And it's about there. It's about somewhere about there. Give or take a millimetre or two. So it works out pretty good actually. I just made that out of a piece of wood. So, what I want to do now is just show you the screen working. And my aim is to be able to use a screen like this to watch the telemetry while I'm flying it. I've also got a backup, which I think these are quite handy. In fact, you might even, if I don't wreck the place, you might even have to just attach something like that as a backup, just under there. I just put the main screen on. And also telemetry through this, so we'll see if we can get all this working. So first thing I want to do is just make a bit of space. There's my battery I'm using. This one's Florion. It's 25C, 2200 milliamp, 11.1 volt, 3 cell. I bought this for my quad. Not working out very good for my quad, so this should work a lot better in here. And I'll talk about that quad in a minute. So, I put my radio on. I've got to set the ANX. Everything's off. Turn down. And I'm just trying to make a bit of space here. Okay. The first thing I want to do is pop the battery in. See if we can get it all connected up. Okay. So what I do is, it's a bit awkward to get the battery in. Just trying to remember the way I do it now. I think it goes that way. And then just tuck that in. Just goes in like that, perfect. And this just connects in for to power the screen up. So as you can see, everything's working. And there's me power. And then we've got my rudder. Rudder's not quite set up for some reason. I've knocked it. I need to adjust it on the inside there, but just for the trim. It's all working. There's a elevator. Okay, so turn the screen on. See that? So we've got nothing at the moment. I might have to rescan it. I'll just pop this into. So we've got negative there, positive there. There you go. And straight away, it's popped straight on. What I normally have to do, you can see the light blinking. Well, you can see that. I'm just going to do a reset. So she's detecting GPS detected. Not RSSI is not detected. Need to work on that. And there you go. It's flashing because it's got 7 satellites. New 1 position. There you go. It stops flashing. And as you can see, if I can just pop that down a sec. Just trying to hold it with one hand so don't drop it. I think that's in frame. As you can see, it's It's all there. Brilliant. So I'll just pop that down a second. You can see also there's a light on the back of the GPS, and obviously once the canopy is on, all you'll see, in fact, I'll just pop the canopy on a second. I won't put it all the way on, just like that, that's it. So now you can see how much of the front of the aircraft you can see. You've got all your telemetry there and everything. Need to change the colour of the screen a little bit. It's a little bit red, but it's working great. Okay. So that is pretty much what I've done so far. Also, this has got a DVR on, so I can record this as well, which is really nice. And there's all your information you need. You've got your satellites, I've got 7 at the moment, indoors. Coordinates at the top, GPS coordinates, speed, altitude, timer. As soon as I click the trainer button, it should come on. Then you've got your battery power, and you've got your voltage and how much you're actually using, how much you've used. So as soon as I put the power on, so you're going up to half an amp there, up to 1 amp, and down again. Yeah, and I'll just pop this on to see where this is working. This is the G10. There you go. Some information. It's a nice little watch actually. I think you can see that. I'll try to hold it as steady as I can. Yeah. So that's working, and the last thing, I'll just turn that off a sec, is the main screen, which is, this one is the Chiron Vision. Just turn it on, there it is, and I'm not sure whether you can see, try to see if I can get a close up of it. Okay guys, yeah, so that's working. So that's all I'm going to do, show you what I've done so far for this build. Like I say, I haven't flown it yet. I'll just disconnect that. I haven't flown it yet. Let's put this down here. But I'm looking forward to flying it. Should be good. And also, I've got this quad, which I'm going to be doing. I've done a bit of work on. I've only flown this in the garden. This is a eShine 250. I've done a few mods on this. First one I've done is I've put the transmitter, the FPV transmitter, to the back. It used to be here. So it was the aerial came to the top. So I've moved it to the back. I put a heatsink on with some paste. I just cable tied it on the bottom. So you can see it moves on the paste a bit, but it keeps it nice and cool. And that's the same transmitter which I put on the plane, but this one is a replacement because the other one stopped working. Yeah. I've also put my receiver underneath, and the aerials just come out of here. It's out the road, and just tip it down. And then I've also done the mod for the flight controller. Here. So I've turned it 90 degrees, and I've got the USB port out the side. You need to do that through the software on the PC. And I think that's about it really. I haven't done much more. The only thing I need to do next is change the camera angle, because it's not pointing, you're only getting an angle like that. So once you start to move a bit quicker, you're just looking at the ground. So you're trying to work it out, so you need to cut this carbon fibre top so it goes further back. And one other thing I might decide to do because I'm rubbish at flying these quads, apart from hovering and going forward and back and doing simple things like this, I might put a stabilizer. I need to stabilize it a bit more, so I might change this flight controller for a one with a GPS. I might look into that. And the battery I'm flying with is a 2200. Let's say it seems to work okay. It's really responsive. I've changed the props, these bullnose props, and these work good. So looking forward to getting back into that, just to find the time for it. So guys, hope you found this interesting. Any questions? If you think I've done things wrong, or if there's any other ways I can do anything, any tips on flying the ANX, I've got a flight simulator, so I've been flying that for every day, a couple of hours on a night, and I think I've pretty got that sussed. Just need to venture out and have a day where it's not raining or quiet day. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Any comments, leave at the bottom. Please like or subscribe, appreciate it. Okay, thanks guys.